Hiya, I've just got a few minutes just before body pump, so I thought I would quickly read out this thing I wrote in one of my books ages ago. So I used to keep a little journal because it's a good idea to keep a journal about when you do lots of emotional eating and those sorts of things, just to help you with your triggers. And I had written in one of my books a little list about triggers and ways in which I could help myself to overcome emotional eating. Now at the time I don't think we'd started the shop at that point. We might have started the shop, but basically I wasn't in the shop a lot of the time, so I was at home a lot with my young child. So lots of this emotional eating, bolster eating, which is still is based around the fact that I need to do stuff I don't really want to do, like tidying up, etc. and that sort of thing. But I'm going to read it, and I've done triggers, and then I've done answers. So triggers, overwhelmed, and I've done little brackets afterwards to explain what the statement means. So overwhelmed, there is too much to do. Answer, break it down, do a small chunk at a time. My next one is injustice, which is I didn't make this mess, so why should I clean it up? My answer to myself was only tidy what you want to tidy. Explain to the mess maker that the mess is unhelpful. So that would allow me to I should probably explain the overwhelmed one as well. So the overwhelmed one, I would, so the reason that ended up being bolster eating, whereby if I felt overwhelmed, I'd end up bolster eating so that I'd had enough energy to do. But one of the best ways to do it was to break it down into like 10-minute chunks, or maybe just a surface area at a time. And the injustice one, only tidy what I want to tidy. So I would just tidy round where inspiration took me, and not tidy out of obligation. The third one is futility. There's no point, it will only get messy again. And my answer was, you are only maintaining. It does not need to stay cleaned. It is a job that will never be completed. So that helped me, because I know that I'm not trying to complete the task. I'm not trying to tidy the whole house. All I'm doing is just maintaining a level, so that it just helps it, so that it doesn't become an almighty mess. And again, it's a job that will never be completed. It's not, washing up is something that doesn't have an end. It's just a rolling thing. It's just a little task. It's the same as brushing your teeth. That doesn't end. You have to do it every day. So it's not a problem. It's not, there's futility needs not to be attached to it, because it's not a relevant thing for futility to be attached to. No energy. I'm too tired to do it. My answer was take a break, take a rest, recuperate, do things when you're rested. So literally just give in. Okay, I've got no energy to do it. Make a hot drink, sit down, chill out, go and have a nap. Just take some time out. If you're too tired, take the time out that you need. My fifth one is boredom. It's not so monotonous. And yeah, it is. It's incredibly monotonous. So what I used to do was put some music on and follow. It says put the music on, follow the lists. So I would have lists that I would complete. So all I'd do is have my checklist up, pick an item, do it. I'd put my headphones in. That developed into listening to YouTube videos instead, which is where Jane Day used to help me a lot, because Jane Day did some lovely videos that were about sort of 30 minutes or so long, and you just kind of I'd put some of them into a playlist, and they'd just be going on in my head, and Jane Day would be talking to me about how to be a better person. It always helped. And then follow the list. So I just literally look at the list, do the thing, do the next thing, do the next thing. Before I knew it, some stuff had been achieved. My sixth one is inferiority. So other women can manage, but I can't. And I've said to myself, everybody has different circumstances. Do what you can do. So one of my big issues was the fact that I would see other people achieving so much, and I couldn't work out how they'd managed to achieve it. But I had to understand that everybody has the same amount of hours in each day. Everybody has the same amount of hours. Nobody has any magic more hours, and it's about what they choose to do their things with. So they might look like they can manage, but it turns out they've actually got a cleaner, or maybe their child just isn't quite as messy, or maybe they maybe they have slightly more gadgets that allow them to tidy more. Maybe there's all sorts of reasons why somebody can achieve something better than you can achieve, but it's important to do what you can do. You have to put what you want to achieve in your own sphere of influence, rather than worrying about what other people can achieve. And my 7th one is superiority, which is, I was born to do better things than this. And my answer to myself was, these things need to be done so that you can get to do the better things. Your children will learn this too. So it's helping myself understand that, yes, of course I was born to do better things than this. Everybody is. It's not everybody's role in life to simply do menial tasks. Everybody wants something else they can do. Everybody wants, there's nothing, that's quite normal behaviour. But you still need to do those things. So for example, the table's messy. I need to clean the table, not because that makes me, gives me some sort of special, amazing power that, oh, wow, I can clean a table, but it allows me to then do something on that table. So, for example, I want to do some, let's do this. So sometimes my piano seats get filled full of toys, because, it's a surface area. Little children like putting things on things. Sometimes it gets, someone sitting on the sofa, they'll put a plate there instead. So you get this thing where you've got this pile of stuff. I need to tidy my piano seat off, not because it's a lovely activity and I love tidying my piano seat, but I need to tidy my piano seat off so that then I can play the piano. So you need to do those little simple things that it's not exciting. It's not supposed to be exciting. It's not an exciting activity. It needs to be done so that you can get to the better things. And again, my children will learn this too. They need to know that if they want to do some painting, they need to clear the whole table off. They can't just randomly start painting in amongst all the books, or, that's not going to happen. So they have to do it properly first. And my final one is lack of motivation. I just want to do something else. And I've answered to myself, go do something else. The system set in place will maintain the house. There is time for you to enjoy life too. So I don't have to do everything all the time. If I really just cannot be bothered and I just do not want to do this thing, then I'll just go do something else. I've set myself lots of little lists, lots of little, there's certain times of the week that I do certain things and I just don't do them other times. So for example, this time here, I've got about an hour before I need to go to body pump, but I'm not going to use that hour to wash up because I do that later. So that's exactly when I get home from picking the kids up. Although tonight I've got to do horse riding, so obviously we'll be back a bit later. But that's let's do Sunday, for example. Sunday is we do a Sunday helpful list and we do the whole house. So although I'm looking at some washing pile stuff that needs to be done, I don't do it now because now is not the time. The system set in place will maintain the house. I don't have to do everything all the time. I certainly do not want to be using my time right now, which is my only time I have in my house by myself for 1 hour a week, where I'm actually by myself for once. I do not want to be using that time to be washing up. It's just a very bad waste of time. That's a very bad time management situation, because then I will regret that and I'll be like, oh great, the only time I had to myself I've used for washing up. So I don't do that. I do something else, and I do something like this, for example, where I want to share with others my lessons I've learned around triggers and emotional eating. So that's what I choose to do with my time. And that means that there is time for me to enjoy my life too, so that I don't feel like I'm very, very trapped in my life and that all I ever do is tidying up. I feel like there's an ability for me to live life as well. Okay, so I'll, I don't know if there's any help if I hold that up. If you know, sometimes I like to pause things, and you might not be able to read my handwriting, but sometimes I like to pause stuff and look at it for later. So I'm just going to put that there for you if you want to have a little look closer of what I've read out. And so yeah, I mean, it would be a fascinating situation there to know about your triggers, because I know we all struggle in different situations in different ways. Obviously mine's quite related to tidying up, because that's at that time when I was doing it, that's kind of my whole life really. There wasn't very much else I had in my life. I certainly didn't go to the gym. You know, I didn't have other stuff that I could do. I had a small child. Obviously I had 2 small children, but one of them was at school at that time. And so yeah, that's my whole life. So obviously nowadays my triggers have changed, but I think lots of them are still similar. I think I still get overwhelmed, and I end up bolster eating. I still have no energy, so then I end up bolster eating. But I've learned the processes whereby it was interesting looking back in it really, because there is things here that I just do now naturally. I mean, I do the lists, and I set myself targets, and I do those sort of things, and I I take rests when I need it, and I stop when it's stopping time, and I start when it's starting time. So yeah, I'd like to know any triggers that you encounter, any answers that you have for yourselves, where you know how to counteract what you've found, and know how to, when you recognise what's happened, how you solve your issues. It'll be fascinating. Okay, I'm going to have some breakfast now, because I've got to go to body pump in a little bit, and I need some energy to do it. So I'm going to go have some breakfast, and I will see you guys soon. Thanks so much for watching, and see you later. Bye.